Did we make the human centipede version of DIs?
This is definitely a centipede, yeah. Well, here we are.
Here we are. Should we? Am I derobing?
Can, yeah. So we have quite the setup in front of us that
you can't even see the half of it over there on your end.
You can't even see it. Let me show you what's going on now.
What wrestler was that? You can't see me. Was that Stone Cold? Steve Austin?
I thought it was John Cena.
Maybe it's John. Hey,
see me?
I don't know the WWE, the WWF, the WNBA, the regular NBA. I don't know any of those sports balls terms.
Well, look at this mess here. We've got DIs on DIs. So we're going to have a fun day today. We got the red DI. Red DI? Ready?
I go back and forth.
Who knows, really? The AEA, their passive DI. I don't know that it has a name. The TDI. There you go. I have been proven wrong. The old gold standard, the Countryman Associates Inc. Type 85, I believe. Type 85. Direct box. The ROXI, Grace, Knower, Lover, API. This was actually a guitar DI, but we're gonna have some fun with that. The Radial HDI. All that's going into the mix pre. Don't mind the nuance. It is a very crazy headphone splitter right at the moment, and this is just a big old mess of cables, but thankfully you don't have to worry about any of that.
From your angle, we look very put together, and we look like we know what we're doing.
It's all an act, all right? I really hope our audio works. Hey.
Hi. It looks like it works.
Looks like it. That's a good step.
Well, first of all, hi. Welcome back to Fan Power Hour. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jeremy.
Ooh, you did it this time.
I did it.
Wow.
Bienvenidos a Fan Power Hour. Well, I went from like Mexican to Japanese, I think.
Hey, I'm sure that's a cross that's out there.
Fan Power Hour. I have no idea how to do accents.
Dude, I can't do any accents at all.
Can someone
I can't
help
even
me?
speak with my own voice properly, so.
I'm just cursed to be Midwestern. Pello.
Gosh.
You don't like your salad?
You do that? Salad? Like
When
a
I
Y
don't-
is after the S? Salad?
I don't want to talk about it, all right?
I'm not judging you. I just have not noticed that one.
Yeah, I eat like Mediterranean food.
So you put some like nasal Y's in your words.
I guess.
Is that a Midwest thing or is it like an emo thing?
Ooh, probably both.
Yeah. Midwest emo? That's a thing.
Yeah. Where are you? I can see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, DI Town.
DI Town indeed. Well, before we hop into DIs, how are you, Jeremy?
I'm tired today, man.
Me too.
I feel like I've been getting good sleep, but I'm just tired. I'm a tired boy.
Mm-hmm. Sleepy Boy Club.
Not getting, you know what it is? I think did we talk about the calories on one show? Or probably just with you?
Probably just with me, I think.
I don't think I'm eating enough, guys. I've been on a very calorie restricted diet, and I count everything, which is why I think everything they see is either like 0-calorie drinks, caffeine, or protein. One or the other.
If I didn't have caffeine, I think my heart would stop working.
Which I think caffeine will also make your heart stop working.
Yeah, but
there's that Goldilocks zone of caffeine.
You know,
we flirt with it daily.
Bane from Batman. Yeah. A lot of people have merely adopted the caffeine, but I was born in it.
Wait, is this just a Bane? That's not Bane. What are we doing? Did I mention I was tired?
What would it sound like? Could we like flip the polarity and make those a microphone and then you talk into it?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Actually, I know an engineer who gets crazy guitar tones by feeding the signal of their amped sound through headphones and putting a 57 on the headphone.
That's a wacky idea.
And that's
reamp. Cool.
It's pretty cool. I've done it one time over 10 years ago. I'd love to try it again.
We did some cool stuff.
I'd forgotten about that until just
57 yesterday with the Radial.
Yeah. So the Radial, you'll have to pop a thing back up on this.
That's fine.
Of all the DIs we've got here, I think the two that are most similar, they're all DI boxes and can be used as such. The two that are kind of wild cards here are the Grace ROXI and the HDI. I mean, effectively, all of these do the same thing.
Which is what, Jeremy? What is a DI?
Direct injection.
Direct injection?
Yeah. I don't know. Direct instrument. I'm making it up at this point. But, I mean, DI stuff for years has been as simple as like a Countryman Type 85 for me. Why? Because that's what you're told to do. And I am curious about the difference between all of these because I have it in my head, like I'll reach for the REDDI, I don't know. I'll reach for that in some situations, but I don't know why. I have it in my head that I love it on bass.
Well, I do too. And my perspective, and maybe this will completely shift after today, my perspective is because it has that tube in there, it gets you a little bit more character, warms up the tone a little bit. You can push it to break up.
What does that mean? I'm gonna try. I'm giving you a hard time right now, but I'm gonna try not to use like typical
buzzwords.
I'm gonna try not to use engineer words.
Okay.
Like warm, fuzz. I don't know. I'm gonna try not to do that, but I don't think I'm gonna succeed, honestly. But I'm curious what when you say warm.
Warm to me means the tone is. It has like a somber pensiveness about it. No, when I think warm, first of all, so much of my experience is based on the bass itself.
Yeah.
So for me, warm is like if I'm thinking about looking at like an analyzer in the EQ or something. Not like the highs are rolled off, but they're not as pronounced and kind of. I don't know how to say it without using buzzwords, but like more harmonics in like the low mid range.
I was going to say, typically when people talk about warm, I feel like some people throw it around and have no idea what they want. They just say warm because that's a word that they use. But when I think about it, I think about a bump in the low mids, like anywhere. It could be anywhere between like 200 and 500 hertz. And then a slight bit of saturation. It's life. And then a little bit of like gentle saturation, whatever that comes from. And tube saturation's very different than like, say, a FET circuit or the HDI, which is not marketed as a tube DI from Radial standpoint. There's no tubes in there, at least not in the audio path. And when I was talking to them and when they wanted me to try it out, they made a specific thing to say, like, this is not a tube DI. But if you go to most retailers, at least up until like 3 weeks ago,
they were calling it one. Yeah.
Like if you go to Sweetwater's main page, the first words on the HDI is this is a tube DI, and it is not.
Can we open it?
I don't have a warranty to void.
Why are they saying that? If it's not that there's a tube in there somewhere.
I think, you played with this thing. There is some tasty presence and color, and honestly, the top end development on it feels like a tube. So I think that's what they're going for, but somewhere along the line, and like, hey, this feels like a tube DI, and this is a tube DI, got a little janky, I guess. I don't know.
Little crossed wires there.
And if I'm wrong about that, correct me on the thing here and be like, no, Jeremy, you're an idiot. There's tubes in there. Great, cool, whatever.
Maybe they're just aesthetic tubes. Aesthetic. So we're going to go through. We're going to try all these DIs. When might somebody traditionally use a DI?
Anytime you're going with like a high Z input or something that is not microphone.
And high Z is based on
instrument.
Yeah, instrument, and that's inputs. Because of different impedance levels. Yeah. Is that right?
I mean, don't ask me beyond that much. I kind of black out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but and this is the part like I genuinely want to test because like I will sometimes use these for fun. Like I bought all of these except for the Radial. That one, I guess the Grace did too.
Yeah,
they sent that one long time ago. And actually,
there is a full video on the Grace.
Won this one.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I've never won anything in my life.
That was within the last handful of months, right?
Yeah. I posted a picture of an AEA mic, and they were like, "You win!" I'm like, "What? I win?
What I win?
So I win a mic? Sweet!" And they sent a DI. Okay,
I mean,
I'll take it.
You could always use more DIs. I was ribbing you earlier because you have all of these peculiar versions of DIs that most folks don't have, other than maybe the REDDI. The REDDI is the one that I see.
It's kind of a staple.
Yeah, especially for the baseline.
And especially among older guys.
Yeah.
Because it's not a cheap DI. Although used, you can find them. And I mean, even if you just contact the company's super small, like he'll make you a deal. Like,
but my point in all that is you have all these fancy DIs here, but you don't have a single radial standard DI. The one that I see,
like the JDI.
Yeah, every gig I go to, the engineer has like 5 JDIs in a bucket. The keyboard player has one for his Nord. You know.
Yeah. Well, I had asked for one when they wanted to send the HDI. I had asked for it. I was like, okay, then give me your cheapest one that you've got. And at first they were like, oh, we love that idea. Like, because I always want to see, like, if somebody wants to send a flagship, cool, well, send me your cheapest thing too. Mm-hmm. So I want to see if the design philosophy, like, transcends the line or if it's just a completely different box. Yeah. I think this is a totally different box. Like, 100%. They threw the kitchen sink at this. They were kind of going, I think they're going after, like, the Avalon kind of market, because you see a lot of the same type of controls on this box. It feels pretty similar. But I didn't get the cheap one.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is an idea that we can revisit throughout doing this little experiment here. But put yourself in the mind. It should be easy. Yesterday, we shot a video building like a bedroom studio, like a faux studio, talking about the nuance that we're using here. So if that's out, you can go check that out. If it's not out now, it'll be out soon. It should be out by the time this is out.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Cool.
But put yourself back in that mindset.
Okay.
You have, let's not even say the Neve. Let's say that you have just a Scarlett. You've got a 18i8 or something, or a Solo, whatever it is.
We're getting started.
Why would I even get a DI? I have a high Z input on my interface.
You know, I mean, honestly, that's what I want to figure out right now.
Yeah. And which is why I was thinking ahead. I knew he was going to say that. And that's why I said, we're going to come back to it probably multiple times throughout this video. Like, in which environment, which case would you really feel it necessary to invest? Because some of these are pretty pricey.
Yeah, and I want to look at what some of them cost. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if you can find the API in this form anymore.
Maybe on the Verb.
Do we want to start making some noise? I want to twist some knobs.
I hope we're not talking about music.
I was going to twist your...
Those are my knobs.
Funny enough, that's how you change his attack when he plays. He'll dig in harder.
Zero of this form factor.
And like, it was out for a couple years. They had a guitar version and a bass version. This is the guitar version.
But I've used it for multiple sessions on bass.
It's really just the EQ points are kind of designated for guitar. But,
interesting.
Yeah, I don't even see them. I know they sold a crazy amount of them. I mean, they're... For a pedal board form factor, they're enormous. There it is.
You can get, there is stock at 8th Street Music, which is probably a very reputable real place.
Takes you to a different one.
That is, the photo for that was not.
Are you screen recording?
No, not right now. Should I?
No, that's all right. Will it even work?
If I don't swipe left and right, it should.
This will be our test.
Start recording now. And down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up.
Okay.
So the photo, what if I just click the photo? Cool. It just shows me a photo.
It shows you the GT.
Vintage King is out of stock, but at way different price. So that makes me think it's the one we're looking for.
That's the one, the GT.
Yep. So it's not in stock. You probably can't find it to buy anywhere. But
It's a monster of a DI. And see, even that one, scroll up. There's 3 buttons. Mine does not have 3 buttons.
Oh, you're right.
Like this, I feel like was like the lost.
Maybe
DI
you have like a
API.
maybe you have a Gen 1 or something.
I don't know, but I mean, it's see, even the power, where the power goes in, is in a different spot.
Interesting.
But it's got 6 different compression characters on this thing.
You know who would get to the bottom of this? Josh Scott of JHS. And you know why I brought him up?
Josh.
He popped up on my Facebook recommended friends.
Yeah.
So you better believe I sent a friend request.
Did he accept it?
I don't know yet.
Joshy.
This was last night.
Josh. Josh.
Big fan.
Josh.
Like what you do.
Josh.
Yeah, you say you want to make noise? Do you like making noise? Are you a noise maker?
I'm ready. Let's go. So first up, I think one of my favorites in the bunch, the REDDI. The one that if I don't have a whole lot of DIs to put on other things, this is the first one I'm reaching for bass. Better believe it.
Yeah. And probably the one I've used here for bass most often.
Right. So let's dig in, shall we?
Do you want to just do start with the track, or do you want to just hear some sounds?
I just want to hear it real quick.
So before we get too deep into this, we're playing a Marco TFL 4-string. It's in passive mode. I'm just keeping the blend right up the middle. It's 2 J pickups, just straight up the middle. There's no tone knob or anything like that. So what you hear is what you get. We don't have the stereotypical like Fender J or Fender P at the studio right now. So This is going to be kind of the closest representation to that, and hopefully gives you like the most vanilla sound experience, so you can kind of hear the differences between these DIs as best as possible. If there really is any, we'll see.
I have a feeling we're going to notice some stuff. But
I think we're going to meet some different characters along the way.
So this is the REDDI. See, that's one of the cool things about this one. Can you hear me when I talk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like you can pull it back, then obviously you would boost your preamp for this, but like it gets cleaner, but the more you push it, the dirtier it's going to get. So
you got to kind of ride both knobs.
Let me get to see it starts to naturally compress.
Yeah.
Now if I pull this back and pull this gain up over here, more dynamic, more punchy. I typically like to run it like right up the middle, like right about here.
Can we go pretty extreme? I want to hear maximum breakup that we could get out of the REDDI.
Yeah, give me a sec. Ah. There you go.
So a little bit of grit. It's nothing like you're not going to get your distorted tones.
No.
Unless you boost into it.
Right.
Then you could get a bit more crunch. If this was an active bass, we'd probably hear just a tinge more breakup happening, but it's...
And I'm doing my best to like gain match as I go. This is really hard.
Yeah, no, for sure. So it's truly just how much character do you want? Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's not, I feel like now I had in my head, having played with the HDI, like how dirty that can get.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, maybe this isn't dirty. Cause at one point I know this is a tube DI, But I feel like somebody told me it was kind of based on like the B15 circuit. I don't know how true that is.
Which that can get some pretty good breakup.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's as dirty. It's very dependent how hard you push into it.
Exactly.
And this being passive, we're not like putting a whole bunch of inflated low end into it. So
yeah,
that could be the difference. But honestly, this might be a better test anyway.
I think so. Yeah.
So can we play it with the track? I'm just curious. Because I might fiddle as we go here. Still recording?
Yes. But this is full screen. There we go. Not full screen anymore.
Fix it.
Maybe. We'll see. We can check after this.
Okay.
And see if it kept going. Okay, so this is a little track that we did with that bedroom setup and the nuance. Little track that we did.
With the
everything HDI that you hear right now was recorded through the HDI.
Even microphones,
which we'll get to, but it's not what it's meant for.
No.
And if you want to watch that whole thing, you can go to the Recording Studio Loser channel and check it out.
That one may not be out for a while, but yeah.
That one. This will be 3 weeks from now.
This still might not be out, I don't think.
Okay. We'll either way.
Let's hear it. It's got, it feels like the REDDI to me. It's just
exactly.
Low end. It just stays pinned there exactly where I want it. We try a different one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
So we're going to shift gears big time. We're going to go to a passive DI, the AEA TDI.
It feels like there's less presence already to me.
How does it push back against you? Like, do you know, what do you... The low end feels different right now.
It does.
It might be a scotch louder because I missed... The low end does not feel as present. I can't tweak this. This is it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious just to hear it in context.
Okay. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Did not expect this. With this current context, with this current bass, I like playing into that more. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like it too.
And I purely think it's because the high end doesn't feel exaggerated.
Yeah.
In the REDDI, I just thought, I didn't think that it was really affecting the top end much. I thought that I know that this bass by itself with round wounds is fairly bright, even in passive mode. So maybe the AEA is smoothing the top in some way, or maybe it's just more transparent than the REDDI.
I think this is way cleaner. It's going to be interesting once we hit the Grace, because that is a very clean circuit.
Yeah. But I liked that one more. I felt like I had more of the wood character from the bass.
Yeah.
And like I keep saying, that the top was smoother. It felt like there wasn't as much just high frequency action happening.
What I can tell you is since I won it, I haven't used it very much. Maybe one time.
Mm-hmm.
I just immediately like it more.
Yeah.
Like this is cool, but for what I want out of a bass in context, you could have that crazy pin to low end in certain situations, but like again, context wise, we don't need that here.
Yeah, not in this environment, no. Interesting.
That's
a cool little DI. I like that.
I'm gonna go with the Countryman.
Tried and true.
This is like as boring.
What do you think? Do you think that we're gonna have a very similar feel to the AEA that we just tried? Because this is also passive, right?
This is passive. I mean, passive in the sense like they still take 48 volts to function.
Right.
They're both FET circuits, I believe. I'm actually not sure about this.
What's the name of that?
The AEA TDI.
JFET.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a different one though.
That I think that's their dual. They have a duo version of it.
Yeah, JFET buffer.
Okay.
Lele step down transformer.
All right. Cool.
It's neat. I like it. Sounds very good. I want one now.
I don't know how much they cost.
$300.
What is a Countryman? Just out of curiosity. Countryman Type 85.
Typically $300. Vintage King has it for $260.
Interesting. So like these are very similar.
GearTex has it for $175.
Hey. Could be a knockoff. Who knows? Okay. Let's see what this bad boy shows.
Here's the Sweetwater listing. They do not sell it.
They don't. I wonder if it's discontinued or something. Huh. I mean, this is known for being like a workhorse. I mean, you can see how absolutely beat up mine is. It's seen better days. But it still
was that
functions.
the first DI that you got?
Oh yeah, very first one. I used it for guitars a lot. I used to use it when I was getting into reamping because a handful of DIs will pass through powered circuits. So you could put this between your guitar head and your cab. As long as your amp still saw a load, like you could take a DI off of the head this way and then use an IR if you want for front of house.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty cool before we had all these fancy IR boxes now.
Yeah.
We did things a little different in the early 2000s.
Have you ever put a mic into a DI?
Well, yeah, with the HDI.
Well, other than that.
No, because they don't typically have enough gain.
That's fair. That's fair.
We'll see what this one sounds like.
Nah.
Okay. See ya.
Okay.
She's hot.
I'm feeling that same like a little bit smoother top end.
That's hitting the FET circuit when once you start to like even gently saturate that stuff, it's going to kind of smear those transients a little bit.
Okay.
Almost like you're hitting. I mean, it's compressing basically. It's not hitting a compressor, but you're shaving off the top of that waveform. So it's kind of like people think about like FET microphones versus tube microphones. Sometimes FETs will have like a finished sound because you're slamming circuits. So they can kind of shave stuff off, kind of self-compress. So
I dig it. Well, here it is in context. If I play the right notes. What you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm getting more confused.
Sounds like bass. Feels very similar to the AEA. I don't know exactly what it is about it, and maybe it's completely just in my head, placebo junk, but I think I like the AEA most still.
It had if this feels like a little less bottom end, it feels like more around like 2K, 3K.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could hear more finger noise. I could hear more like of your finger actually hitting the string.
Yeah.
Which could be really beneficial in certain contexts.
100%. I also, quick disclaimer, I know I'm not playing the exact same thing every time. That's because there's not really any specific part for this track. I'm trying to keep it fairly similar, while also, as I'm getting different audio feedback from these different DIs and stuff, it kind of lends me to play a little bit differently. But I'm trying to keep my right hand as consistent as possible in terms of placement and stuff.
I think that's part of the discussion too, because I mean, part of like why you choose certain microphones is how are people reacting to them in real time. Like the feedback that it gives you is very important. So like, I would be curious to know, like, what are those different things you're getting? What are those cues you're getting from the boxes?
So with both the AEA and the Countryman, you maybe notice I played more high register notes, and that is because I'm getting more of that transient smearing on the high end. It feels more comfortable and fitting for this vibe.
Like you're not going to poke out.
Yeah. Not saying that the parts I'm playing are perfect or anything. I'm just jamming to it, but it lends me to feel like it's more approachable to go up there in that way.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Which one do you want to do next?
Let's do ROXI.
ROXI it is.
This one I'm interested in because it has so many EQ options. And when I took this one home for a little while when you first got it, I was blown away. I absolutely love this thing. Is your Phantom still on?
Oh, yeah.
So we did a whole Phantom Power Hour episode on the Grace, on the ROXI. There's a Recording Studio Loser video on it. So I don't think we need to go on and on and on, but some of the key highlights of this, there's an effects loop built into it.
Very cool.
There's an EQ built into it.
Very cool.
Potentially one of my favorite EQs for specifically bass that I've ever used because of the low end parameters. There's a built-in boost on it. And
there's a dedicated amp output.
Yep. And you can set, I'm trying to remember how this works. I think you have an effects loop, but also a tuner output that you can use.
Yeah.
Really interesting form factor and feature set for something.
Yep. Amp output, tuner output. a dedicated mic or line input. So this is legit a preamp. You could use it with a mic or a DI. And literally the dip switch is on the side here. You can change that. And the whole thing can be powered from IEC, and it can power pedals.
Yeah. So it can be your power supply.
Yeah. Not for a whole lot.
No, but you can chain a couple low, like not super thirsty pedals to it.
You've got 500 milliamps to work with,
Yeah.
which if you're using like some of the things we were using on your board are like 30, 50. Like you could chain a fair amount of stuff through here. So see what it sounds like?
Yeah, you want to get me at noon there? It looks like
I should hit record actually. Recording. 1, 2, 3, kabam. Cool.
Just want to make sure I'm at noon everywhere, and then
that's as noon gets. So amp won't do anything. Okay. So our boost, effects, and amp right now won't do anything unless I hit boost. Then we have a boost, a very clean boost. Hey, remember that little foot we didn't know what it was to?
nice work.
Is it still there?
Detective Jeremy just on it.
Hang on, is this still here? Oh, I just throw it away.
2 hours later.
Dude, I cannot believe I have kept this on the desk for so long. I almost threw it away yesterday.
How did that come out?
I have no idea, but I'm glad I found it. I'm stoked.
That's so funny.
Anyway. See this? Now it feels like we're back to the REDDI low end consistency thing.
Yes, but cleaner.
Yeah. And I'm not quite to where we were level wise. That's about where the other ones were.
So much thicker,
Yeah.
just in general.
I'm going to pull it back because we might EQ.
Mm-hmm.
So just to show you, the lows on this are stupid. This is at 0, okay? All lows out.
Oh, I love it.
It's such a clean... Like, that's a very clean low.
And a lot of it, too.
So let's, like, goose the mids here. 4K, 2K, 1, 400, 300, 170. Like if you want that big scooped thing. So cranking the high end here. Like that's a big added low end, added high end, scooping the mids, like giving it the smiley face.
Yeah, I mean that's the modern slap thing. I think the high ends are very pointy, but I don't think that's because of the grace or anything. It's
so I'm gonna EQ it a little bit because if you have this box, you're probably gonna use the EQ. So I'm gonna get like a tone I like.
Why don't you show them the boost real fast?
Oh, it's just a clean boost.
Oh, you did already use that, didn't you?
Yeah, just a real clean boost. Kind of boring. Is what it is. It's the cleanest boost you could ask for.
You're the cleanest boost I could ask for. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
I love this thing, dude. I can't say enough good stuff about the ROXI. It's so cool.
How does it feel? Like, do you know, is there a difference in feel?
It feels easier. It doesn't feel, I think, how do I say this? There is a lot more dynamics in it.
Yeah.
Which I personally prefer. I could see some people getting, not frustrated, but having a little bit more difficult time because consistency is very easy to hear when, whether it's there or not. Something like the REDDI, I think if you have some gain enough, or if you're digging in like a lot or something, it's going to feel consistent even when you're not. And that could be, I don't know, placebo still, but it feels better to play because it feels more like the finished product for bass. We can boost the low, we can EQ a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could put a compressor in the insert here.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
yeah, it's this one. It's because of the form factor. I rarely use it, which is a crime.
Makes sense.
But it is so handy. It is. There's another part of it too. Like, I mean, with a session player, I could put this in front of you and not worry about you doing this. But if I put it in front of like a player in a band,
they could push the bass all the way up and turn treble and mid all the way down.
Get excited because of what they hear, and really, it's trash for the track.
Yeah,
and
for you to work with on the back end.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that one takes top for me now.
Okay. Yeah, I think me too. And honestly, like, those were great. I'm a little confused here. Okay. All right.
So AEA, did we say that was 400 or 300?
Was it $299?
It was either 2 or 3. Yeah, $299.
So basically, the AEA and the Countryman are effectively the same price.
If you can get your hands on a Countryman,
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Probably buy them used.
So the ROXI is $895.
Woo, that's a spicy boy.
Spicy boy indeed.
Wow. This has a lot. That's a lot of output. Interesting. Okay.
So I have used this 2 times in here, I think. Long time ago. So run me through the feature set.
Basically, it's the biggest pedal you could ever put on your pedal board, and it's I mean, probably this would kill a man.
I don't know. Have you seen the OG why am I blanking on it? It's the fuzz. The big boy fuzz.
The fuzz face?
No.
The red one?
Not the fuzz face. Why you all out there are screaming at me? Big Muff.
Oh yeah, yep.
Or Memory Man.
Memory Man was big. That had sharp corners too. This doesn't have the sharp corners, but it probably weighs a good 12 pounds. I'm probably like 5. It's heavy as far as putting it on a pedal board. And it lived on one of my pedal boards for a while. It was fantastic, but it's such a pain. It's you have to have really good power supply on your board because it takes 18 volts AC. You've got level control, gain control. Level is going to be what comes out of the 1/4 inch and moves on. You have an EQ that's pretty cool as far as like guitar goes, and then they're basically fixed points. So this is the GT version meant for guitar. There was a bass version, but I was more of a guitar player, so we got this. And then the compression. But as far as I know, the difference between the two, the only difference is the EQ.
What do you know? What kind of compression is going on in this bad moment?
I think it's a fixed threshold on each one of these circuits, but I think it's just going to dig in harder each time.
Gotcha.
So other than that, I don't really know.
Okay.
And it's really hard to find information on it because the circuit has changed.
Yeah.
So much. But from what I remember, like this is just, it's a tonal shaper, and like it is a preamp. This would be one of the ones we could put a microphone into, no problem.
Yeah, and the ROXI.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what that's made for.
It literally says
that's
it
the
on there.
one that's made for it. It's a microphone preamp. That thing doesn't know what it wants to be. Okay. This also doesn't know what it wants to be.
It thinks it wants to be for guitar.
Yeah, but no guitar player wants to carry this around, which is probably why you can't find those form factor anymore. But anyway, let's hear it. So I've got 200 hertz. Not typically something I want to boost on bass. 1.5, maybe. It feels
if I was like picking.
That feels like a really tight cue, though.
Yeah.
And then 5K. I never liked the top end on this. It felt dirty. Compression.
I don't like the way that compression feels at all.
This is the one I tended to use.
That's not bad. Once you go up a little higher than that.
That's off. On.
Yeah, and that sounds pretty good. It gives it more, like, it doesn't feel as hollow.
Yeah.
Once you crank it on. Can I hear the 5K just like rolled off? I think you have to turn the tone on, don't you? So it's really easy to get that underwater thing. Yeah, so right around like 9 o'clock, I know that's not going to be the most usable, but for just kind of playing along without anything else going on, I like that.
Let me get it to match the other ones. About right there. Can you hear it in context?
Let's do it.
A little noisy. I don't know if it's because I'm holding it. Hang on.
Or our power situation going on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
No, it feels good to play because we could take some of that high end away. And like I said, you probably wouldn't want to have to work on the back end as it's currently sounding. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it's always harder to bring stuff back
Right.
than to get rid of it in the box.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sure.
I had something else to say about it, but I don't remember what it was.
It's kind of the most boring of the group. Granted, it's not necessarily made for bass, but the only thing we're using about the EQ is pulling out some of that top because it is top heavy. It feels very top heavy comparatively.
Yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, can we really quickly switch Oh, there wouldn't be an easy way to do it.
Like the AB something?
I was going to say if we go to a Countryman, but then I have to shut this off to do phantom power. But can we really quickly go to the REDDI?
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm curious.
Go back to that one now that your ears have been...
So play real quick. Play a little bit.
In context?
Just play.
Just play.
Okay, all right.
I mean, yeah, I like the REDDI more.
But what does this do to the low end? Is it naturally rolling it off because it's a guitar?
That's possible. Do you have like dimples in your switches or in your knobs? I mean,
No.
Like no notches.
There is for the middle.
I wonder if the potentiometer is just a little bit weird and you're accidentally rolling some of the low end off right now.
It would just be like at 200 for a little bit of a Q.
Okay.
And it's a pretty tight Q. But what I'm hearing is like 100, 120.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder if it's starting to roll that stuff off because
it's for guitar.
We're in a guitar circuit.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Mm-hmm. There are some cases, though, where I think you would want to have that information coming from the guitar pickup still and then get rid of it later.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, there's the traditional like TS-808 thing, like the tube screamer, that a lot of those circuits, basically anything that's not like a clone circuit, don't quote me on that. I'm probably not correct. Pushing into like your edge of breakup stuff or like any kind of big thing, you want to get rid of that low end.
No, for sure. And that's part of the tonal shaping. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to me.
I wonder if they lead in that way. Interesting. So one more.
What's your favorite? What do you guys like so far?
Oh, this one's the heaviest one by far. Hello. Okay.
So this is level just set pretty low, and then color off, presence off.
Presence off.
You have some other switches on there. So
can I spin it so they can see it?
You can try to spin it.
Ugh. Best I can do, everybody.
I can also throw a faceplate photo or video or something up so you can really see, but
get my phone out of here.
Got a few options. We're on the high Z option because we have an instrument input going on. Did we ever figure out exactly what that opto switch is doing?
It's how hard you're pressing into an optical compressor. So that's about level matched. Then we got like we really gotta, if I want to try the opto, I gotta pull this gain way down, push this one, try that. Now we can hear the opto engage. Yeah. The little red blinking light. I don't know if you can see that or not. But you can feel it grabbing probably.
Yep.
And then here's a little less.
Yep.
Off.
Honestly, off to just a little bit. Feedback feel, not a huge amount.
Grab a pick and really dig in.
Well, these are flimsy boys, but
Okay. That was off. Here's all the way on. It's just kind of shaving the very top of it off. It's not an aggressive compressor.
right. Which, I mean, you might not necessarily want at this stage of the game anyway.
Here's the fun part. The color.
Oh, yeah. It gets so saturated.
Off. I like it at about noon. Like it's gonna break up. Then we've got presence.
Can you mess with presence with color off just so we get a clear representation?
That's like at noon. Off. That's a lot of lift.
But so the difference here, what else do we have lift with that we messed around with?
Technically the API and the ROXI.
Yeah, there's a lot of lift with that one. It doesn't poke through as much to me. I don't know if that's just like the frequency range that it's dealing with or what. But
this doesn't poke through?
The presence when it comes to higher notes on the bass doesn't.
I can push it all the way.
I still think it's a frequency thing. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as if maybe the Grace.
It got like a little pokey there.
Yep.
I think because maybe this is boosting like a higher band. I don't know. That might be starting at around like 12K or something. Don't quote me on that, but you can get some of the gross finger stuff where this might be above it. You're just getting like the air. Yeah. Like, this is about my favorite spot to run at. Like color at noon, presence, like, I don't know, where am I? Probably like 1 o'clock or 11.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it in context.
Actually, can you stop real quick? So one thing I'm noticing, like that feels louder, but it is lower.
Saturation though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perceived loudness.
Let me match the loudness here. Play a little bit.
So that's actually level matched with everything else.
Matched, yeah.
Yeah. Feels much louder.
I'll pull it back a little bit. So we're still below level match for the rest of them. We'll just hear this.
I like the low end on this one more than the low end on the REDDI.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say about the low end on the ROXI because that's almost it in the category that it is. It almost is like an artificial low end, I guess.
Well, that's an EQ'd low end, which we don't have that here.
Right. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So for a non-tampered with low end, I like the HDI the most.
Yeah. This is not even a contest. Like, this is so far out ahead. From an engineer's perspective, at least from my ear's perspective, I'll say that much. I don't want to speak for everybody because somebody will listen
don't
to
represent every engineer.
Somebody will hate it. But as far as like usable stuff there, like you made the comment, you can take away information, but you can't provide it. And like the finger noise and presence there, that's not gross and it's not falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I wanted it, I've got it. If not, I can pull it out.
Yeah. And in my experience, at least specifically bass, those are the kinds of things that when I'm in my own ears playing, I hate it. But then once you get it into the context of the mix, those are the little things that help it like still sit where it should sit sometimes.
Well, and even in like a backwards context, like, I mean, if you're lo-fi, like really that high end, we probably don't want it in this track.
Right.
But well, I'm thinking
the whole track itself probably doesn't need a lot of high end.
Right. In like a metal context, like I can't tell you how often I'm boosting like 6 or 8K in a bass. Like 1K is a very popular place to boost. You're typically cutting around 500, but that like 6 to 8K, wherever that presence lives, it just does something with the marriage of the guitars and the bass. And like a lot of times the bass is what's going to make or break that record, not the guitars. Well, the bass is going to make or break the guitars.
Yeah.
Which make or break the record. There's like so many like heavy records. Like I think the Plot in You does this really well. Mm-hmm. And just that bass sound, how it marries with the heavy stuff. It's so present and so big. I like it. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too.
But for me, this does it. Now that said, none of these are bad. I could work with all of them.
No. And
what is this? I don't even know what this is.
I was getting ready to pull it up. What is this? HDI.
I'm going to guess 1,000.
949. Hey! But okay, so same price bracket as the ROXI. Two very different units. They
were the strongest.
Here's a drawback on the HDI.
Yeah.
You don't have an XLR input.
I don't know why they don't put one. This has so much headroom. Like we made that comment yesterday. Mm-hmm. If they just put like a mic input on this thing.
And a phantom power.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a direct competitor.
Why? I don't understand why. What is this one? It's marketed as a direct box.
Click on that. I want to see if it says tube anymore.
It does. Tube simulation.
There's no simulation in this thing.
Ooh, low ratings.
Oh, why? Go to the reviews.
2 reviews. Here we go. 5-star and 1-star. Quite perplexed. Very excited about the Radial HDI. Watching a bunch of videos. Reading this OS review. Okay, I hate to put it this way, but I don't think it did money of anything. I don't think
it did money of anything. Like it was worth the cost?
I guess so. That's hard for me to say. Greatly respect Radial. They tested it on a Stingray special.
Okay. Well, he doesn't really say what was wrong with it.
No.
Huh.
Weird. Also, Stingray, isn't that a...
And by the way, this is not a sponsored video.
No.
So
none of the podcasts are.
Oh my gosh, if it was, so many people would be pissed.
I mean, maybe one day they will be.
Like these people would be pissed. I'm saying not those people, not you. These people.
Oh yeah. But, yeah, I thought that the Stingray special was a pretty high-end Music Man bass. As a bassist, I don't understand how you could play through one of these and say that you don't think it did anything. Unless you had a completely wrong idea of what to expect out of it.
Right.
I mean, or maybe a defective one.
It could, very well could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's one thing about I think all of these companies, besides Countryman, probably really good customer service. Grace is
Countryman
great.
probably doesn't
I've
have a
dealt with
customer
great-
service anymore.
Well, they're still a company. They make the over-ears, which are vastly
Oh.
overpriced, and never buy an actual country. Everybody calls the over-ears Countrymans.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of become the Q-tip of the industry.
I just now put two and two together that it was the same company.
Yeah, same company. So
Yeah.
yeah, their customer service is not great. At least in my experience, very anecdotally. Grace, they're sweetie pies.
So nice.
API and REDDI, super small company, like one guy, super easy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
And then Radial, they're just, I mean, they have the guise of a very large company, and they are not. But they have, like...
Guys, GUISE, not like people.
Oh, yeah. But they're... them as a company, like, they have their hand in so many things, it's hard to pin them down.
So many. We saw so much different stuff that they're doing at NAMM.
Well, even working as like a live sound engineer and a studio guy, like those are the boxes. Like, you don't give too much thought to Radial because they're just the problem solving boxes. Like, you need a DI, they've got one. You need a transformer decoupler, they've got one. You need your like computer DI so you don't get the hum from the power supply, they've got one.
Yep.
Like, whatever you have, they have one. Like pro touring guitar techs, I mean, they have stupid expensive like guitar management systems. Like, so niche. Like, no company has that level of like diversity of products that go so deep into a niche need. It's like, oh, you want this thing that does this? We've got one, and here's a couple options for you. Like,
Now, we made these, but there's you and 4 other people in the world that need this.
yeah, but what makes this feel completely different from the rest of their lineup? Like, this is not like a use case. This is like a luxury item, which is not something you would expect to see from Radial. Does that make sense?
Yes. It
Like, this is not just a DI. This is not like,
no.
here's a Swiss Army knife. This is going to last. I mean, it's rugged, but like, it's not rugged in the same sense as Radial stuff. You could throw it into the middle of a battle and it'll survive and it'll work.
Trying to wonder, part of me wishes we had a Noble to try.
I don't like Nobles.
I know. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to think of what use case they had in their mind when putting it together.
This?
Because you only have 1/4 inch.
I think they were going for the Avalon crowd.
I get, yeah.
What was that called? The Avalon. It's the Avalon DI.
That's what we had at Orange House, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
Is it ALON? Yeah.
I don't think it's been made for years.
Yeah.
There it is, the U5.
I mean,
I think they're going.
priced at the same.
I think they're
price
going
bracket.
for the U5 crowd, like that just crazy luxury DI thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's a perplexing little box. This feels like they had the team like, what do you guys want to build? And they were like, we want to do this. Like, that's, I have no idea if that's the case. Like, so many of their things are like Swiss Army knives, and this is not that.
I can understand going into this crowd. However, like, feature set is completely different for both, like, between the two. You just got a tone knob, really just a high cut, whereas that has, like, I don't know, the presence and everything. And then on the back,
You've got
yeah,
your
mics,
mic line.
headphone out.
I don't think this has headphone out.
I don't remember seeing one.
No.
Which makes me wonder, again, what crowd are they going for? And I have a hard time feeling like it's anything but bass players. Unless you're like using it as an outboard piece. But then why?
But I feel like it can do way more than that.
Oh, it for sure can.
Just like the ROXI. Like, that thing does not know what it is. And I don't think, I mean, maybe this is just our view from it from the other side of the marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's marketed correctly. the ROXI.
Right, and we had that whole conversation last time too.
And perception's everything, and maybe I've just been on the wrong side of it. But this thing definitely feels like that because it has enough headroom and enough gain to be a preamp, but it is not a preamp.
I mean, we used it that way.
Yeah, in a very kind of bass-ackwards way, even using ribbon mics with it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have worked as well as it did, but it sounded fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I love it. It sounds awesome.
Does it say how much, like if you go back to this, how much actual gain there is on this thing? I'm curious from like a spec perspective. It should be under the specs right there.
Under the spectacles.
Doesn't say.
Mm-mm. It's got a 15 dB pad.
Well, and see, even the high pass filter.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a bass player, you're not going to use that. So it's not marketed to bass players in that instance.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's a perplexing little box.
Where is the high pass filter though?
It's on the back. Or no, it's on the front.
Right here. I mean, like frequency range.
I have no idea.
Because it could be for a bass player if it's cutting out like 50 and below.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to like clean up the sub range.
I wonder if we can find a manual for it. Did you already find one?
It just says high pass filter cleans up unwanted bass frequencies.
That's so vague. Tell me what it is. Here's the owner's manual.
You know what?
Chicken butt.
A specially designed Jensen transformer creates a familiar amp feel that guitar and bass players love. Fuzzbox territory.
It does. It definitely gets dirty.
Used for adding strokes, style, grime to tracks.
Ooh. High pass filter does not affect the clean side of the HDI. Hang on.
Oh, it's just a high pass for the color, for the saturation.
Let's see this. That's what it is. That's cool.
I mean, so
that got even more usable as a bass player, I feel like.
Yep.
Okay.
So that, in addition to some of this marketing material, really makes me think it's just for bass players.
Yeah.
I mean, because
anything
mic and line level outputs, flexibility using on stage and studio, fair.
This has the cleanest low end of all the boxes, I think. Maybe tied with the Grace. Grace is super clean. If we had that Grace EQ on this box, can we just marry those two boxes?
Can we just put the Grace into... Can the radial be the FX loop of the ROXI, and then we take the output from the radial?
Can we try that?
Yeah.
How would I do?
You just need one more cable, right? This is one of those things I guarantee no one else has tried yet.
Why would you? Now we're at like a $2,000 DI box.
Maybe the best DI box ever to exist.
We did a thing.
Hey, you can get this, or you can get part of a Noble.
Yeah, there you go. Wait, how much is a Noble?
I don't know. I was just being silly. Bro.
Hang on. Okay, wait. Low end. Holy moly. Wow. How's that feel?
Very good.
I think this is the bass rig for now on.
Yeah.
This is sick.
I can just leave my pedal board at home.
Holy
Maybe
moly.
add a compressor, like add your Cali into the FX loop too.
Yeah.
And then that.
Which this would power.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
But you got your tuner out. You get a little mini tuner, set it right here.
Mm-hmm.
How's this for a little travel rig, huh?
Dude, this sounds so good.
And this is color off. Clean. Do you want to go clean? You want color? Now that is like flat low end. Wow. I like this.
Dang.
I'm curious. Play it. High end on this. Presence here.
Presence on the HDI is so much nicer to me.
Yeah. Wow, that
What's,
gets so dirty.
Effects all the way wet. Because you have a blend.
Wow. That's so dirty. Can we hear this in context?
Yes.
This thing's about to overheat.
Bro, that setup. Ooh. Ooh.
This is the new bass rig.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just set that over there in our little base station and leave it there. I can make you a little hands-off sign.
That's wild.
I like that a lot.
All right. This is about to overheat. You want to take a break and then do Record Rex?
Love it.
Now it's time for Record Rex.
Christian Northover, Get In Loser. I don't remember how I found this. Somebody showed this to me. I thought it was you.
Ooh, ooh.
Get In Loser. We're
That's
going
studio
ahead.
performance.
That one. So look at the views on this real quick.
39 views. Wow. Only 137 subscribers.
I think 30 of them are me. So this is why, like this, there's a whole record of this. And it's just this guy playing drums and using pedals.
I wonder if he's bigger on TikTok.
Maybe.
Because it would make sense to do TikTok stuff out of this.
This is wild.
I can see it better now, but that dude has like a broom that he's using on the pedal board. But I still don't fully understand what's going on. And it's a different guy, right? It's not just
I think
him.
it's a different guy.
Yeah, this is so
It's
cool. Let's see.
so cool.
He's turning on and off the delay, it looks like. He's got a pog down here, big muff.
It might be like a relay for the entire thing. Like if he's kicking on all of this stuff and then kicking out like a wet, dry, wet or something. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's wild.
Oh, he's got like others over here. He's got a mood set up, some other stuff. So I didn't tell you about this guy, but we've had conversations about Sungazer, Adam Neely's band.
Yeah.
And his drummer does very similar things like this, except using Ableton with like not piezo pickups, but triggers.
Yeah.
So similar idea, way different methodology, but this is awesome.
Sungazer is great. These guys have like criminally low views.
Yeah.
At least on YouTube and YouTube Music, where
Christian
I somehow found
Northover.
39 views. Go check this out. The whole record is kind of wild. I think it's called Wizards Made Me Do It. And there's different vibes. Like, are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There
2
it is.
subscribers on the YouTube.
I'm telling you, 27 plays, 3 plays. Most of these are me.
You're one of 2 people maybe that have listened through.
I don't know
the
how that's
album.
possible. This is long. This is so cool. Like,
And it came out last year, so it's not like it's brand new.
listen to what is it? Experiment 2. It's like pitched reverbs.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so weird.
It's almost like that one is like industrial ambient.
some of them are pretty ambient, like but the Get In Loser, like that one just goes hard. So
Very cool.
you could tell it was like they were just having fun, and they're like, we should just record these, and
Yeah.
they did, and it's genius. Go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Mine is also wild in a different way.
Let's go.
Vanna or Vana. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it.
I love this song.
So I sent this one to you. Don't look at these as I cover it with my hand for the
Like
people
it's
on
not a
camera.
screen cap.
That's a screen cap. Because some of these are soon to come. But where to go? So I found this one yet again. Pretty much, I'm going to stop saying it. All of these are from me looking for new releases.
Yeah.
And trying to find artists I don't know.
Like, we know nothing about the artists.
No. We know that this song in particular is spicy,
Very violent.
very violent.
But
The whole album, though, goes hard. So this is Ragdoll by Vanna. The vibe is just so cool. I don't even know what it resembles or what it makes me think of in terms of another artist or
It's
anything.
kind of baby metal.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just, it's catchy. It grooves the whole time. The production is awesome.
the lyrics
are something.
they're very violent.
Yes. Yeah. But the whole album is great, and you can kind of assume what the lyrics are about based on the album art, because you would assume correctly.
Yep.
But well worth a listen. Goes hard in the gym for sure.
It's cool. It's a good tune.
So that's Ragdoll by Vanna. Trial and Terror is the album. I dig
Is it called? Is it brat metal? Is that what it is? I heard somebody refer to it.
that
Maybe it was them on their Instagram page. I think.
Oh, it could be. That's a fitting descriptor.
Yeah, I think it was her page, like saying,
Okay.
like, "What do you think of brat metal?" Or
I haven't scoured their socials.
It's dark.
Yeah.
It is very.
Yeah.
It goes exactly where you think it would.
If you were just look at her on her own, she looks like she's just like fairly jolly.
Have you seen the music video for this?
No.
You don't have to include this in the video. Pull it up though. Anyway, that's another one for another day, probably.
Well, we did so much. We got so many answers. We learned many things and invented the greatest piece of audio gear a bassist could ever ask for. So I don't know what more you want from us.
I'm going home after this.
Yeah, I am creating a home in the studio after this. So
What should they put in the comments?
put a square for DI box.
Okay.
A little square emoji. We don't say this as much as we probably should. If you made it this far, that must mean you at least somewhat enjoy it, or you fell asleep with an autoplay on YouTube. Either way, if you did enjoy it,
You accidentally watched the whole thing.
send it to some friends that maybe have a sick, twisted enjoyment of videos that you do. The same kind of.
Or a sick, twisted view on what DIs are.
Did we make the human centipede version of DIs?
This is definitely a centipede, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to see us take this further? I don't. Do you?
I kind of do.
We could go crazy here.
What would it sound like if we human centipeded headphones into mics, into headphones into mics, and headphones into mics?
Now we're talking.
Put them all in different ISO booths.
I want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. All right, well, we got some things to do, obviously. So, bye.